So this is question 4a. We are asked to solve the inequality 5 negative 2x less than 9. So we will consider 5 negative 2x less than 9. I want to move this 5 to the other side. So what I will do is I will add negative 5 both sides. So 5 negative 5 negative 2x lesser than 9 negative 5. So these two gets cancelled. You have negative 2x less than, from 9 you take away 5, you get 4. Now I'm going to divide both sides by negative 2. I want to get rid of this negative sign with 2. So if I were to do that, when you divide by a negative quantity, the inequality sign or direction will change. So the inequality will become like this. So negative 2 gets cancelled. So you have x, and then 2 divides here 2 times, and you have negative 2 there. So this is what we have got. Now this is the next question. It states that find the smallest value of x that satisfies the inequality. Okay. Now let me draw the number line and show it to you. So you got 0 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, so on and so forth. Now towards the right hand side x is increasing, towards the left hand side x is decreasing. Okay, so we are at this particular point. X is greater than negative 2. Now we are asked to find the smallest integer. So from the number line, clearly x is equal to negative 1 is the smallest. Now the question is, does this integer satisfy? Okay, that is the most important criteria we have to check. Now when we talk about the smallest integer, we are only talking about the smallest integer that satisfies the inequality. See, the inequality is given as 5 negative 2x less than 9. Now when I substitute x is equal to negative 2 here, 5 negative 2 of negative 2 should be less than 9. Now negative negative positive, 2 times 2 is 4, and you have 9 less than 9. So this is what we are getting here. So this means x is equal to negative 2 does not actually satisfy the inequality. So the value of x should be greater than negative 2. So that is exactly what we have got here. Now if you were to choose a value greater than negative 2, that value is not going to be on the left hand side, it is going to be on the right side. Okay, so that means of all the integers that are listed here, we will have to choose the smallest integer. So that is the exact idea here. Okay, so when we talk about smallest integer, do not have this assumption that it has to exist on this side. It cannot exist on this side. The very fact that anything lesser than this value or this value will not satisfy this given inequality. Okay, so our objective is to find a value that is greater than negative 2. But anything greater than negative 2, see for example, if I take x is equal to 0, this 0 is actually greater than negative 2, and if I were to substitute that 0, I will get a value that will hold good. So this is true, 5 is less than 9, and x is equal to 0 is a value that is satisfying. So coming back to the question wants us to find of all these values, clearly all of these values will be satisfying the given inequality. But of these values, you will have to find the smallest integer. That is the exact understanding. So clearly x is equal to -1. It's a straightforward, but understanding it takes a little bit logic. Okay, so therefore the answer is x is equal to 1. See, because if x is equal to -1, not 1, x is equal to -1, I will have this 5 negative 2 of -1 should be less than 9. So this is 5 negative positive 2 times 1 is 2, should be less than 9. It's 5 positive 2 is 7, 7 is less than 9, and this is 2. Okay, so there are two important concepts that you will have to understand. X is equal to -2 fails. Have that in mind. So x should be greater than -2. So let's move on to the next one. This is question 4b. It is stating the following. It says a piece of wire of certain length, right? We do not know the length. A piece of wire of certain length is bent to form a square of area 121 cm squared. Now, first part is find the length of each side. The second part of the question is find the perimeter. Find the perimeter of the square. Okay, so the area created is 121. Okay, and we know WKT stands for we know that the area of a square is given by the formula a squared, with a being the side. So this means a squared is equal to 121, therefore a is equal to square root of 121, which means a is equal to 11. So therefore the side of square is 11 cm, because this is given as cm squared, right? You see that? Now the perimeter, they are asking us to find the perimeter. Now the perimeter is given as 4 times a, which means 4 times of 11, which is equal to 44 cm. So that is the solution for this lovely question. Now this is the second part of the question. It says that the same piece of wire is now used to create a circle. Find the radius of the circle. Now for this, you have to take the circumference of the circle is what? Circumference of the circle is given by 2 pi r. Now we know that the perimeter of square is what? 44. So this means 2 pi r should be equated to 44. You divide by 2 both sides, you get pi r is equal to 22. So r is equal to 22 over pi, but pi is 22 over 7. So this can be rewritten as r is equal to 22. You flip this, you get 7 over 22. 22 gets cancelled, so therefore r is equal to 7. So this is the radii. So radius of circle is 7 cm. So that's the solution for this question. Okay, now they are asking us to find the area of the circle. Now the circle area is given as pi r squared, which is nothing but pi times 7 squared, which is nothing but 49 pi square units, in this case square cm. Okay. So that's a solution for that particular question. Now you can rewrite this. In fact, pi is nothing but 22 over 7. 7 divides here 7 times. 7 2s are 14, 1, 7 2s are 14, 15 square cm. So this is also one way of writing. You can also write it C154 cm squared. Okay, either this or this or this.